Welcome back to another YouTube video, and I cannot believe it's been 2 whole months since our last YouTube video where we came back from the UK, and now today we're in beautiful sunny Bulgaria. The temperature is like what, 34 degrees?
34 degrees is so hot. I think it feels more, probably 34 in the shade and like 40 in the sun. It's really hot.
It literally took us about half an hour to find a spot to film because we're currently in a park. We're trying to find a spot to film because everywhere is just way too hot to film. It's so sunny and so hot. But we wanted to make this video basically to explain where we've been, what's been happening, what's happening in our lives basically, because I feel like in a couple of months there's been a lot of changes, a lot of ups, a lot of downs.
And it's happened. Yeah, it's been like a lot going on that we haven't shared. So yeah, just a little update.
Yeah, and it's good to let you guys know what's actually happening, because if you guys don't follow me or follow us on TikTok or Instagram, you're not going to know kind of what's happening with us. We do a lot of posts daily on TikTok and Instagram. So if you want to sort of get more daily updates, quick videos, that is the place to go. But today we have a few topics, and we're going to start with the first one, which is
where we've been, what we've been up to, and why we've not kind of been on here to update you.
None of this is bad stuff, but this is all just kind of life updates, if you like. So basically we came back from the UK to Bulgaria, and then we kind of just disappeared from YouTube. So within that period, we have done a lot of things. So the first thing we did was we set up a marketing agency where we help brands and businesses in Bulgaria with their social media.
So basically it was an agency. How things went is that now we're doing freelance. The experience we had doing the agency was quite different to what we expected it to be, and we had to change once again and do the work freelance and have clients freelance rather than agency.
So basically, for those who don't know, an agency is an actual business, like a branded business, and you go out as a business to get clients. But what we noticed in Bulgaria is an agency really wasn't perceived very well compared to being a freelancer. So as a freelancer, we were getting more clients as individuals. As a business, as a agency, the reception really was not received well. Now, there's a lot within kind of the Bulgarian culture that I've learned and that we've learned, particularly in business, which has changed our perception a lot about certain things here. So as well as that, we have now launched a merch brand. Well, wouldn't really call it a brand. We've launched some personal brand merch. So on my website now, there is a couple of t-shirt designs that we have designed ourselves from scratch. Everything is made locally, printed locally, and everything is original print. Now, this is not a big business. This is not a big fashion brand. This is small batches of prints based around my audience and based around things that my community like and they interact with. So the first two designs I'm going to put up on the screen. So this is the first one, is Spread Lieutenants and Not Hate. And this one here is Shkembe Time. And they're two themes around my community.
We're quite creative, especially David. And I feel like this was kind of like, he just got these ideas and it looked really fun and just, it was really like, we thought it was really cool, to be honest. It wasn't like so serious, if that makes sense. Just
it's very much a passion project
yeah,
of ours. If you guys want to support and if you guys want to pick one up, of course you can check it out on the website.
This was also very time consuming. Although it's a passion project, we did want to do it properly, so that again we had to find a place that does it locally, that does a good quality, and work on the designs and then test them out. So it was once again something that's kept us quite busy.
Yeah, absolutely. So next topic, one thing we want to kind of talk to you guys about is we've realized just how hard it is to do business in Bulgaria, or at least the perception of doing business in Bulgaria, and to build something sustainable and something for long term. So obviously when we moved to Bulgaria initially, we wanted to move to Bulgaria to spend the rest of our lives here, start something up and contribute to the economy and do things right and do things properly. However, every time we've launched a venture here, we have been met with backlash, with ridicule, with like people saying like, oh, you're a scam. And the reason is I've spoke to, obviously I make a lot of content on social media about this, and a lot of people are saying it's down to the perception of Bulgaria and down to the history of Bulgaria. And it's been really, really challenging to do any form of business in Bulgaria. And to be honest, like the experiences that we've had have really affected us and almost put us off doing business here. And that's been a massive learning curve for us, because as I said, when we came here, we really were optimistic that we were going to come here, we were going to build something, and we was going to do something that obviously benefits us and our future when we have children and setting things up for them, but also the economy within Bulgaria.
Another thing is that we do work with businesses in Bulgaria as well, and new startups and just different businesses here located here and they're experiencing the same thing. I feel like the biggest thing was that when we first did something, we had no idea that the response will be like that and they will be so difficult or like kind of perceived in a way. We were just so shocked.
Yeah.
I don't think it ever crossed our minds that it would be
Because
perceived that way.
in the UK, you wouldn't get that perception. Like in the UK, it's almost encouraged to start something up. Like where I'm at now with my social media, I'm not huge, but like I am a content creator, right? I do have good engagement, good following, good loyal community. And if I had those same numbers and I was doing it in the UK and I started something up, the business would be booming. And I've experienced it before with like personal brands and different things and different people in the UK. So my assumption was that, okay, we're going to do the same in Bulgaria. We're at the point now where we've grown enough where we can launch something that's going to sort of do very well for us. And we've just been met with absolute ridicule and backlash. And for me, the biggest thing and the biggest mindset shift that I've had, or the biggest offense, should I say, is that like we're trying to do something to benefit, as well as us, the Bulgarian economy. Now, the thing is, we could very easily just set up a business in the UK. We know exactly how to operate. We've had businesses in the UK before. We know the ins and outs. So to now come to Bulgaria and try to start something to be met with backlash and ridicule, for me, it's really opened my eyes up to mine and our future. And off camera, we've had a lot of conversations and a lot of honest conversations about how do we now want our future to look, because the future that we moved here for initially is no longer the future that aligns with what we're trying to do.
I feel like as soon as something is live and it's out there and it's a product or a service, when you're talking about it, everyone loves it. The minute it's out there in front of people almost get very defensive. Like,
I don't know if it's bitterness, jealousy, or what. But one thing I want to say is this is not me as a Brit being offensive. Bearing in mind, Marina's Bulgarian, and a lot of Bulgarian people, comment if you guys agree or disagree, but a lot of Bulgarian people in my comment section on social media say the same things, say that this is just how the Bulgarian culture is. It's a very toxic place to do business. And again, that's because of the perception of back in older times, businesses were just government corporations, and that mindset and that mentality has still evolved to the modern day. So it's only just come into place now in society where people are launching, individuals are launching businesses, and it's still perceived as a very kind of negative thing. On to our next point.
Where we are right now and how we feel about living here, and just in general, how do we feel about everything that's going on in our life?
I've done a lot of speaking, so Marina's first. Honestly, forget me. How do you feel about living here? How do you feel about being here? And how do you see your future?
I didn't expect a lot of these things as well. Although I am born here, and I've lived here the first 19 years of my life, I've not lived here as an adult. So my whole adult life, 10 years of my life, have been in the UK. So all of this was quite shocking to me as well. I kind of knew certain things, and even before we moved, I was a bit reserved about a lot of things, and I told David about it.
There were things that Marina told me about the culture and the way of life here that I had to go through and experience in order to understand it. I think somebody, sorry to interrupt you, but somebody can tell you a million times, but until you experience something yourself, you have to go through things sometimes in order to understand it.
And I feel like even me, I kind of knew about these things, but kind of being here now and living them, it's a completely different thing. Like I didn't expect any of it. I feel a bit more settled now than I did at the beginning, time-wise and just place-wise. I felt very out of place like the first, I would say, 4 or 5 months here, and then slowly I got used to just the country really. But at the same time, the longer we're here, I'm seeing a lot of the cracks more and more in my face. Although there's a lot of positive, it's like the same everywhere, I think. But although there's loads of positives, there are loads of negatives, and when they're impacting your life here, you have to kind of decide for yourself, what can you live with, and like what can you tolerate in your life, what's the limit, and what's like where's enough.
And again, off camera, I hope you don't mind me saying, but off camera we do have these conversations. Obviously as a married couple, we have these open and honest conversations, and I think the biggest thing from my perspective is like recently I felt very defeated. And I love Bulgaria. We moved here because we love the place, the culture, the way of life, the environment. The positives are still there. However, negatives are really starting to show. And for me, the biggest thing was like, as a man that wants to provide for his family, I am capable myself of so much more than what I'm doing now and what I'm doing financially as well, in terms of business and in terms of opportunities. And me in the UK, I'm very self-sufficient. I can start something up, I can make money, and I can build a very good financial future. And we moved here because we wanted to get out of that financial race. However, we still wanted to do well enough where we're earning a decent income, which at the moment we are through the agency, or no, he's not an agency, but through the freelancing,
yeah.
we are earning decent. We do have enough clients where it provides an okay, adequate life for us. But we did want to build and we did want to do more. And I'm thinking, like, as amazing as this country is, there are a lot of cultural differences and a few things that I and we have struggled with. And it's been really tough navigating, well, how do we want our life to look? Because again, like Marina said, there's pros and cons to the UK and there's pros and cons to Bulgaria. We all know the pros. We always talk about the pros, the ability to travel, how centrally located it is to other places, how amazing the environment is. And look at an amazing day today like today. Like there's no complaints on a level of abundance in that sense, I would say. You know, we're eating good food and we're doing good things, but it's more so for me as an individual. I know that I and we are capable of so much more. And I really, really had hope that my capabilities and my abilities I could bring to Bulgaria and do something. But it's just clear after being here for nearly a year now and trying so many different things, it's clear that that's not an option, or at least it feels like right now that that's not an option. And that's a massive, massive hit.
I just feel like a lot of people trying to bring you down, even if
that's a
they
massive,
don't know
massive point.
you and they don't.
That's a
like,
massive point.
You've not done anything. Like it's just out of the blue.
I feel like as a creator, the more you put yourself out there and the more you push and the more you promote here, it seems the more backlash and the more criticism you receive, not the more encouragement. Whereas in the UK, as a creator, when you're doing good things are reciprocated or good things happen to you. From a creator economy perspective, there is no support. Brands and people and organizations do not want to pay a penny, but they want all the promotion in the world for free. They want to benefit them and their agenda, but they don't want to reciprocate with compensation to you, whether it's through exposure or whether it's through finance. You know, people want to push their agendas through your platforms onto other people, which is in turn them benefiting them, but then they don't want to give you anything out of it. Bear in mind, it takes us hours and hours and hours a day to film, edit, record, engage. I'm engaging across YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, and all of this takes time. This is a full-time thing, but yet people don't want to treat it like it is a full-time thing. The creator economy here is terrible. Brands don't want to pay. There's no money in the pot. Whereas if I had the same statistics as we have now across all platforms in the UK, we would be absolutely booming, both in terms of financial and both in terms of exposure. Brands would want to be paying and working with us. And bear in mind, guys, Marina is just as involved in that side as I am. Marina's doing the recording. Marina's helping me with the ideas. Marina does a lot behind the scenes that you guys don't see in order to make this stuff happen. So it's a collective effort. So when you think you've got to do 2 full-time salaries, that's 2 people that need to eat when nobody wants to pay.
We've been very always very ambitious and creative and wanting to put things out there and work on different things and with people. And
the long story short of it is the disrespect of people wanting everything from you but not wanting to reciprocate anything in return. So if a brand comes up to us, or if an organization or a governing body comes up to us and says, we need this from you, but we don't want to give you anything in return, they don't realize that there's 2 people that need to eat. There's a whole batch of things that needs to be done in order to make that piece of content or that promotion or that thing alive. And these are the honest conversations that we're having behind the scenes. And what I'm really glad that we're sharing these with you guys. Like, this has actually been a better video than I thought it would be. Which leads us to, we've done a lot of speaking off camera, and we are probably going to go back to the UK for the winter. Now, we don't need to. It's not because of money, because a lot of people think, oh, you've run out of money, you're going back. Like, it's nothing like that. We've got money saved. We're good financially. But for us, it's more about, we've discussed and we've really thought, and we want to go back and we want to kind of rebalance, because we're both very off balance and off center at the moment, and we love being here again, but I feel like spending the winter with friends and family in the UK will allow us to really reflect, because I feel like when we're in this bubble and when we're doing things like this, we don't really have time to reflect. So the question of what do we want, we don't really know what we want, but I think we're going to end up doing a hybrid living split, which was kind of what we wanted initially anyway, weren't it? Like a period of time here and a period of time there, opportunities in both places, and we're not tied down to one or the other. I think that's
we kind of, when we hear there's some things that we really miss there, and then when we're there we kind of want to be here. So it kind of seems like we want to be in both places. Like, I don't think one place is right for us more than the other. Probably I think it's the fact that we have kind of, how do I say, comforts in both places in different ways. The summers here are amazing. We've created so many memories this summer. We've done so much that in the UK we've not been able to do, like in the summer, because of, you know, just the life there is so much like sped up. but at the same time, there's so many things in the UK that I really miss and I really love. And like a lot of the things there, I'm just comfortable with, and we both are. And it's kind of like homely to us as well. And
exactly.
yeah, so.
And I also think because we do so much content about Bulgaria, there's almost an expectation to have to be positive about Bulgaria 24/7, to have to love every single thing 24/7, because we've essentially created that narrative with our content, which everything we share is genuine. So now when I'm sharing something almost negative or something different, it's like, whoa, it's like a shock. Like, what? This guy is now all of a sudden.
But also, like, nothing is perfect.
Yeah.
Bulgaria is not perfect. The UK is definitely not perfect. And so we definitely kind of.
And
right.
we're fortunate and privileged that we have that luxury. I genuinely think I'm homesick, and it took me a while to realize I am homesick, and it took me also a while to realize and understand that that's acceptable to be homesick. It's normal to feel like that when you're moving over, and when the culture is so different, you're going to feel homesick at times. And it just took me time to understand that is normal and that is okay. And that's why I've not really spoke about it, because I felt guilty feeling homesick. How dare I feel homesick?
But
like, that's how I felt. But
yeah.
now I understand, well, it's normal and it's okay, and it's okay to say that.
You can love Bulgaria but miss the UK at the
Absolutely.
same time. You can love the UK and you can love Bulgaria like at the same time. It's not, it doesn't have to be Bulgaria or the UK. I know Bulgaria is amazing and a lot of people don't like the UK, but at the same time I miss the UK.
When you're out of a place, you start to realize the good things about the place.
Yeah, exactly. And I know when I'm in the UK, I'm gonna miss Bulgaria. I'm sure I will. But we just have to do what feels right, and we're gonna go back for a bit, see how we feel.
I'm gonna wrap this up by saying I now understand why people leave Bulgaria. When I first moved here, I was quite naive and I didn't really understand it. I was like, why are so many people leaving? And now I get it. This place is amazing. This place has so much potential. But in order to fulfill that potential, some things do need to change. Honest conversation. If you guys have got any insights or any opinions, feel free to comment below. As always, we welcome your support, and it's great to have you as part of this community. And as we figure it out and as we go along in this journey, you guys are going to be with us. So don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. We're going to get back to regular content. We do have a lot of things coming up before we go back to the UK potentially. We're going to be going to the seaside. We're going to be possibly going to Turkey. We're going to be going to Greece. So a lot of stuff coming up.
We have a lot of plans.
See you in the next video.